Good morning. I am Mr.U.G.Arunrajan, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, SRIIT. Today we will discuss some topics about sources of water from from the subject water supply engineering. Okay. The main objective of this topic is to know about different sources of water. We know that water is very essential to our day-to-day activities. Okay. For that, we need to know what are the sources available in the earth surface. Then only we can utilize that water more effectively and efficiently. And second, to know the utility of water. We in day-to-day life we use water in the case of drinking, washing clothes, cleaning utensil, and so on. We in that you need to know the utility. What are the utility of the water? Then only we use that water in very effective manner. Then third, to understand the need of the water management. We know the water is very essential, so that we need to preserve that water and give to that coming generation, so that we must need the water management system. And then last, to understand the method of conservation of water resources. Okay. After completing these topics, you can able to know how to describe the different ways in which water is used and the quantities used for various purposes. Distinguish consumptive and non-consumptive use of water, and to recognize use of water that are elastic in demand and those uses that are inelastic in demand. These are the syllabus of the first unit, sources of water. Okay. And then we will discuss few topics in the sources of water. Okay. First, public water supply system. Okay. Generally, our government give the water to the people by water board department. Okay. We need what are the needs or need the public water supply systems, means it should provide the wholesome water to the consumer. Okay. We need to know what is meant by wholesome water. Wholesome water means clean and fresh water. Once the water will clean only, we can able to consume that water. And also it should be fresh one. It should not give any smell, okay, color, and so on. And then the government should supply the adequate quantity of water to the people. The minimum quantity of water required in day-to-day life is 135 liter per capita. The 135 liter means in this particular limit, when a single person can use the water for drinking, cleaning, and washing clothes, and so on for a particular person. Okay, if we have less amount of this 135 liter means that is a demand will occur to fulfill our needs. Then next, adequate provisions for emergencies like firefighting. Okay, the government should give the water for emergencies like firefighting and so on, because with the help of water only we stop that fire, so that the water board department must provide that water for in the case of firefighting also. Next, provision for future demand. Okay, if we construct a pipe or provide a pipe in a particular area, means we also need to consider the future expansion of that particular area. In this, we consider then you provide water pipeline and street inlets and so on. Next, next, prevent pollution of water at the source. Okay, we supply the water with the help of closed conduit. In this, we provide that water to the consumer in a prevent pollution manner. Okay, closed conduit nothing but a closed pipe. Conduit means pipe. Okay, closed pipe. Okay. Then objectives of our water supply system. Okay. The following are the various types of water demands of a city or a town. First one, domestic water demand, industrial water demand, institutional and commercial water demand, and demand for public use, fire demand, losses and waste. Okay. In the domestic water demand, we use the water for drinking, bathing, washing cloth, then cleaning utensil and so on. For that, the government supplies that water. That demand is called as a domestic water demand. That requirement of water is domestic water demand. Then industrial water demand. In the case of industries like food processing, dairy, and dyeing factory and all, they use the water for that industry. In that case, the government supply that water. That demand is called as a industrial demand. And then in the case of schools, malls, shopping complex, in this they use the water. That requirement is called as institutional and commercial demand. The demand for public use. For water, public water fountain and public buildings like collector office and bus stand, in this they supply that water. That demand is called as public water use demand. In the case of firefighting, use that water. Okay, that water demand is fire demand. And then some water will maybe evaporation or otherwise leakage in the pipe. In the case of damage in the pipes, the water leakage will occur. Then in that case, that demand will occur. That demand is called as a losses and waste. Okay, we plan that system according to this requirement also. Okay, next. Apart from that demand, we also have some demands like seasonal variation, daily variation, hourly variation. Okay, in the case of seasonal variation, like summer, winter, or rainy season, the availability of water will vary. Okay, in that also we will discuss our consideration to estimate that water to supply that particular area. And then daily variation. In weekdays and weekend days, the requirement of water will vary. In weekdays, generally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, up to the Friday, the people in that home is very low quantity. So that the requirement of water in that house is low. But in the case of weekend, Saturday and Sunday, the people stay in home, so that the requirement of water is high. So we supply that water also high. Then hourly variation, like morning, afternoon, evening, that according to the time, the variation will occur. In morning time, like morning 6 to 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. The requirement of water is more, and apart from that, up to the evening 5 o'clock, the water will be gradually reduced, and then after that 5, the requirement of water is again increased. So that according to the hour, according to the daily, according to the season, the variations of the demand will occur. Then next, planning of water supply system. Okay. In this, according to the climatic condition, size of the community, living standard of the people, industrial and commercial activities, pressure in the distribution system in sanitation, cost of water. According to this category, the amount of water will vary. That is the usage of water will vary. How will vary? In climatic condition like summer and winter. Okay, in summer condition we use a more amount of water because there is a water evaporation will occur, losses will occur. So that we need to satisfy that losses. So we consume a more amount of water. Okay, then for cooling the room and washing the clothes also more. So that in summer condition the water usage will be more. Okay, in winter condition the usage will be gradually reduced because it is already the moisture content in the atmosphere, so that the amount of consumed by peoples and the evaporation losses will be gradually reduced, so that the water will reduce. Then size of the community. How the group of people, community is nothing but group of people. How the group of people will comes together. Okay, in this case, big or small. According to this big and small, the quantity of water will vary. In for a big community, the water will be more, requirement of is more, and then for a small community, the requirement is less. The living standard of the people. Okay, according to the economic background of the people, the requirement of water will vary. Okay. For example, for a wealthy family, a good economic background family, they have used bathtub for bathing and swimming pool and air cooler. Okay, in this case, they use a large amount of water, so that the water requirement is more. But in the case of low economic people, they use a minimum quantity of water. They use only public bathrooms, toilets, and so on, so that they use a minimum quantity of water. In this, according to the living standard of the people, the requirement of water will vary. That industrial and commercial activities. Okay, for manufacturing process and shopping malls and shopping complexes and so on, the water required is varied. Now pressure in the distribution system. If we distribute the water in very high pressure means the people consume a more amount of water, and also if any damages occur in that pipe means that loss of water also more. But in the case of low pressure pipe, the people get the water very low quantities only, and then um, if any damages occur in that pipe means the loss of water will also reduced or otherwise very low. Then system of sanitation. Sanitation means how the water, the waste water will be disposed of from the source. Okay. If the sanitation available means we use a more amount of water, so that the requirement of water is increased, and there is no sanitation means the people use very minimum quantity of water. Why they use a minimum quantity of water? The used water will retain in nearby hosts only, so that mosquitoes are breed in that area, so that they automatically reduce the requirement level. And the cost of water. According to the tax and metered connection, the usage of water will vary. In the case of tax, once you provide a common tax means the people use a more amount of water because the tax is a common to all. Well, if the 5% have the water, the same quantity of tax will give by the 2% have that home usage water. Okay, but in the case of metered connection, according to the usage of water, they pay the cost, so that the amount of water will be varied according to the cost of water. Okay. Then design period. Design period. Okay. Design period means in how long time that hydraulic structure will be retained or used by the particular area. Okay. For example, if you need to construct a particular tank, elevated tank, it is not for a 5 day, 5 month or 2 years and okay, we need to use minimum 30 years. According to that, we make the design of the hydraulic structure. Okay, that period, the design period, how long it will be used by the people, that is called as the design period. Okay, generally in a water supply system they use 22 to 30 years as a design period for constructing the hydraulic structures like tank, water tank. Then population forecasting. Okay. For designing the hydraulic structure, we must know how many persons are used for how long period for the particular hydraulic structure. For that, we must know what are the population in that present time and how it will be increased in the future. In that, we go for a population forecasting to calculate the amount of people increased for the forthcoming years. Then only we can understand or know the future requirement of water. Then only we can play hydraulic structure. Okay. And to determine the population of a city or town. Okay. Population of a town depends upon the factors like birth, death, migration, and annexation. Here I show a sample copy for the increasing of population. Okay, here say in x-axis it shows a number of years and y-axis it have the amount of population in billions. See, in the case of nearly 1950, we have 2.5 billion of people, but in the case of 1980, we have nearly 4.5 billion of people. Okay, but we need to calculate the future population, forecast the future one. Okay, for 19, for 2040 and 2060 and so on. According to that, we just draw the graph with the help of the previous records. Okay, in this we approximately estimate how the population will increase in that particular year. In that only we can predict the population, then construct the hydraulic structure. Okay. Here I saw the hydraulic cycle. Hydraulic cycle is nothing but a water cycle. Okay. In the cloud, make the condensation and the precipitation will occur. This precipitated rainwater reaches the ground. Due to the infiltration, the water will reach to the lake or river. Okay, then according to the evaporation occur, the water will evaporate and again reach to the cloud, and then the water is also consumed by the plant due to the transpiration and also evapotranspiration. The water will again reach to the cloud. Okay, then this cloud again do the condensation and comes to the earth like a precipitation. This is the cycle of water. Okay, from cloud to the land and land to the cloud. Okay. The last topic of this session is surface sources. Okay, there are two types of sources available in the earth. One is surface sources and subsurface sources. Okay, surface sources is available on the surface of the earth. We can take easily from the source. But in the case of subsurface, it is available in below the ground surface. The few examples of the surface sources are streams, rivers, ponds, lakes, and impounding reservoir, etc. And subsurface sources are wells, then infiltration galleries, etc. Thank you.